Super 8 film? 8mm film?
No,
Video, film, movie film.
No.
With the projector.
slides, but
Oh, you
35
still
minutes.
should.
There's like a.
No, I don't.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, no.
I just threw out a slide projector.
There's
Okay.
a cafe, a block.
Was
Meeting
it
my
one of
lunch
them?
at
No,
9 o'clock in
but-
the nighttime.
But I did go out because I found package of my old slides from a trip that I taken.
I didn't eat my lunch at lunchtime. And
No,
I'm hungry. Yeah.
I'll throw that in for just
Oh, wonderful. Oh, fun.
Thank
She's new.
Oh, hi, how are you? Good, I'm
No, it's
Jessica.
not a projector question. It's that I
Hannah?
have
Oh, very
it
nice to
on,
meet you.
boxes of our history slides.
Of course it is. Yeah. Here, can I have your contact information?
Well, we're downsizing.
So
as
just
well,
here?
so
Oh my
20
gosh,
years
that
ago, I
is
would have
really
said,
wonderful.
5 years ago, I said.
That
yeah,
is
that's why I
really
have them.
cool.
Every
So yeah,
girl
just
I
your
was
name and
like,
do you have is
Can't
it
throw those out.
transfer?
Now it's
Okay,
like,
yes, yeah,
well,
okay. So name
Really,
and
we've got
your email,
computers in
and
our
then
pockets. And you
then I
get
can
it
get in
better than
contact with
people
you,
are getting images,
um,
there's really no
and just to let you
reason
know
to
what's going on too.
So we've got all
If
this
it
stuff.
goes in the
And
auction,
it's like
then sometimes if it doesn't go, then we can just put it in the week after.
plug-in things for
Eventually we have to-
electronic devices.
Yeah,
I don't even know what they are, but there's
the
like a
box full of remotes.
spaghetti
Yeah, yeah.
pile.
Very cool. Awesome.
What
Thank
are
you
you gonna
very
do? Just
much.
like check it up a cliff or?
Awesome.
Well, here's another thing is we
So,
sometimes have to.
We're gonna hit share and all that good stuff, but look, we met a new
And for
friend,
the
and this is her
last,
piece,
12
Tana.
years, we felt extra guilty if it got too
Very
low. It was like,
cool.
well, this canvas, we're
Okay.
just gonna reuse it. And it felt like cannibalism reason.
So-
in explaining it, like the only other
I'm
option
going
is
to ask everyone to hit share.
Right? So
Oh,
if you can't
just saw the back of
keep
my head for the
canvas,
first
you
time.
can't find
Here we
anybody that wants the canvas, you kind of have to paint over it because there's no way to get rid of it. They're designed to be for 300 years,
Exactly.
right?
And so you use all this gesso and you.
I use a lot of gesso.
all right. So
We've been good at finding
we
homes
are
for things.
live to
Since we
YouTube,
started, but lately it's been a little
Facebook,
more,
and Instagram.
Are you doing the broadcast?
Yeah, we're live to YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
You need to shift the.
And I hit share. Would you like me to change the lights, or are you still painting?
Look at this.
It's beautiful.
Papa!
I really love that.
Do you?
Look, guys, I love your eyebrows. Look at my guy's
Yeah, I thought maybe
eyebrows.
the colors are a little garish. I was going to go in with some orange.
You could keep painting.
But I'm
uh,
asking
if
you a
I-
question.
Are the colors a little garish?
Do you think orange will make it less garish?
Well, you never know.
Nice seeing you, Georgia. Thank you so much.
I guess the point I was making is that it's currently kind of garish, and I'm trying to imagine what could change that. So I could go orange or blue. But it's a pretty,
Orange, yeah.
pretty low key orange.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Did
the
you talk
orange.
to the people about sharing the link?
Yes.
Did you?
Lovely people.
No, aggressively on the microphone.
All
And now we're going to share it.
See?
Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
my name is Rich T. Rue. This is the worst part of the night because it's the begging part. We have a lot of theater friends, and our theater friends will constantly harass their audience to make donations and fork over cash and buy tickets. We don't sell tickets here. It's free to come, and you can come and take part, and you have no obligation to sell your work, but it's nice when you do. And we try not to, Jess and I donate everything we have. When we calculate it, it's basically like she and I and my son could have bought a house for what we've lost in this gallery. And I'm not saying that to make anybody feel guilty, but here's where the cost comes in. If we could either have a portion of your soul or get you to find your social media and share the link to the live feed, that'd be amazing. The reason I say this, there's a couple layers to this. One, we provide free Wi-Fi here. And I remember we were trying to broadcast out one time. We couldn't broadcast out. And I said to the crowd, hey guys, can you please just log off the Wi-Fi for a second? Everybody went, yeah, we got you, man. And I looked at the Wi-Fi and there was no bars. And I said, no, really, for real, we need to get people to log off the Wi-Fi. They're like, yeah, bro, we got you, we love you, yeah. And then I just said, guys, if you don't get off the Wi-Fi, I'm going to change the password. And everybody in the room pulled their phone out, and all of a sudden I had 5 bars. So to stay open, for us to sell your work, what we really need is as many people as possible to find their phone, pull it out of their pocket, find the live feed. It's on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And if you click share on that, people will see the artwork and we'll be able to sell it. If you just wave at me and go, yeah, man, we love you. I'm like, I love you too. Share the fucking lead. So I'm sorry I said a bad word, and that might get us bumped off YouTube. And this entire speech is for nothing. But here's the other thing: is my phone will ping for everybody that clicks share, and then I'll know that you did what I asked you to do, which is amazing. And if you don't, that's fine. There are people that are like, dude, I don't use social media, and nobody in my family uses social media, and I don't even have a phone. And actually, there are people that come in with flip phones, and that's cool too. But it would help us so much if you find us on Instagram and click share. You can do that in so many different ways. You can find the link and email it to your rich Uncle Ted who likes to buy art, or you could send it. But basically, the people that should be the most invested in sharing the live feed are the people that want to sell artwork. Otherwise, we're going to do this for 8 more months. We've been doing it for 12 years. 2 months ago, we were $1,900 short on rent, and last month we made it through rent, which was awesome. But we really need your help, and we love you, and it's free. Normally there's pizza, and we like to play music for you, and we just want to be able to keep the doors open until December. So it's free. We love you. I was just kidding about taking a piece of your soul, but it would help me a lot if you click share on the live feed. And that goes for the people at home too, if they can hear this voice. There's currently 8 people of this online. That might be 80 if there's 10 people in the room watching the same live feed, but it's probably more like 16 people in total.
My social media is deactivated this week, but you have a piece of this.
Yay!
Yay. And sometimes for sure you get kicked off social media. I get that too. I also have a big mouth. But yeah, that's the thing that saves us.
All right. So first, this little piece I'm showing you, I need to put this mic down.
Oh yes, Jesse. Orange is the ticket.
Orange is the ticket.
Orange is the
So,
color that makes my thinking.
And Scott says orange rhymes with door hinge. So
Right.
I think we're all in the
Which
orange.
Scott are we talking to?
Scott Corrick.
Right, and Scott, can you remind Scott he's got a table to pick up?
Yes, he said he's going to see what's up tonight, and then we're going to make plans to pick up his stuff. So, look at this beautiful piece of glass. Rich, not too long ago, made a really
Yeah, please.
beautiful little hand that gives you comfort. This is a baby hand holding a finger. And I just took a picture of Rich holding his mom's hand. So there's lots of hands holding hands in the world lately. And I think it's such a
Hands, touching hands, reaching out. Just me? Seriously?
someone whistled it.
Thank you.
So opening bid for this piece of glass by Brenda is $30. How are you? So good.
Here's a funny thing. I've been waiting for you guys to come through the door and see that painting on the wall under the black light. Because I think we talked about you like
Mhm.
babysitting it for me.
That is nice. Yeah.
$30 opening bid for this lovely
Not
piece
even
from
selling it,
Brenda.
just like loaning it to you.
Aw.
If you have room. Probably have room.
We make room for anything, it's true.
Well, that one is. I'll put that
We have
down.
fallen out of the habit of putting chairs out because it's been very
It's okay.
quiet lately.
The sun is coming too.
Oh,
We tried to coordinate for the last 2 weeks and we've just been shitty.
Oh my gosh,
So sorry.
No,
And we still
don't
drive
say
by your
sorry.
house.
It's nice to
twice.
see you guys. And come on in.
Yeah.
You're still welcome all the time.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
That would be a ding, Jesse, from the people
Oh,
watching.
a ding! Oh, because I left them. I had to say hi to Janet and Randy. I'm not just gonna not say hi to them.
Are you guys excited about all the things ahead? Is it like
Yes.
sinking in?
Oh, good.
It's not.
It is a little,
Well, look
because
how
look
big
how
this
clean.
is.
Yeah.
It really is different, yeah.
And all our neighbors haven't been able to use the dumpster for several months.
Scott bid on this beautiful little glass piece, $30. Did you see? I don't even know if you saw it. Did
I
you
saw
see
it,
It's
and
so
I paid attention to it.
beautiful.
And this,
Look at the
I'll
little
tell the story.
hand.
So I'm pretty sure this is a casting of an actual hand. And then on top of it is a baby hand, which is a thing that I did intuitively. Ooh, how old's Oliver?
22.
19 years ago, I was teaching. Yeah, 19 years ago, I was teaching at Bishop O'Byrne, and I was missing my little boy. I had visitation one day a week at that time, and I was working with clay, and I just made a little boy's hand, a little tiny baby hand, and I put it in, and
Little baby hands are the best.
yeah, and it was just this little stump of a hand, and I fired it, and I glazed it, because actually when you glaze it, it does have a very flesh-like feeling to it, and it's a little cold at first, but then if it sits in your hand for a while, it warms up. There's really something kind of magic. Now apes do this, gorillas do this. That if two gorillas are having a dispute, they do this dance. It's kind of like playing Simon, where the gorilla might go, and then the other gorilla goes, and then the first gorilla goes.
Like a drum solo.
And then they add
battle.
layers to it and layers to it and layers to it. And when it gets to the point where one gorilla can't catch the whole narrative, then the other gorilla is the winner. And if that carries on long enough and there isn't a resolution, one of the baby gorillas will go and take one of the adult gorillas by hand, and he's the winner of the. That built, I think, into our minds this little clay hand I used to just sit and hold for hours. And actually, we still have this trait in my family where Felix used to have he had a Lightning McQueen that started out bright red and turned yellow by the end. And he would just walk around with this like toy in his hand for like months, put him on the bike seat on the bicycle. And his daily check-in was any dents or scratches, and he'd like have to inspect him. Like, no, it's okay, you're fine. And it's like the metal had worn away in his hand. But still, he would ask you if there's any dents or like, just look at it. It's destroyed. What are you talking about? Nothing left.
So,
No, listen, it's Thomas the Tank. Yeah, little Thomas the Tank.
oh,
For the same thing, right? Until we got lost, and
Little
we found it again. But,
Oh my gosh, the losing of a toy is like the worst thing. I
Right.
was talking to a parent yesterday who
Devastating.
has an air tag on their child's like special toy. When it goes missing, it is the worst. That's so smart.
We did this at
We
the theater
Did
the
you?
other day.
Yeah.
Well, I lost my Miss Officer Murphy, a Richard Scary toy, at Pinocchio in the theaters. And I remember I was getting out of my mom's car. I was wearing a blue puffy coat. I was 6 years old.
Oh, honey.
And I didn't leave Officer Murphy in the car in case the car was broken into. And I had a cold and a pocket full of tissues. And I remember being very anxious about reaching into my pocket with the tissues in case Officer Murphy fell out of my pocket. I anticipated this. And then we left the theater, and I got out of the theater, and for the 90th time, I checked to see that Officer Murphy was still sitting in my pocket. I'm 6 years old. And I had that, you had the same condition. So at the ballet, I went back and looked under the seats because I always go looking for Officer Murphy.
That's
But
really
you also,
beautiful, Jess.
yeah, you also had the same experience where you were afraid to go to the bathroom because you didn't know where your ticket was.
yeah.
So what happened was I
Hi,
left
Lizzie.
the theater, put my hands in my pockets to assure that Officer Murphy was
Did
there
he
for sure.
succeed?
I lost Officer Murphy by checking so many times, but I was afraid to go back into the theater because I didn't have my ticket. And finally, I just broke and I ran into the theater. And I was looking under the seats for Officer Murphy, but the guy was sweeping up and he's like, getting out of, he was telling me to get out of the theater. Super traumatic. And then when I was around 15,
Opening $40.
I suddenly realized, because he had a motorcycle, and I found Officer Murphy's motorcycle in my toy box. And I just started falling.
Oh.
I
You never found him.
No.
I thought this was going a different way. I thought
No.
it was something different was happening.
Just pure trauma. Yeah.
Oh,
So-
I'm in for it, but, oh.
But also this is interesting that I called him Officer Murphy. And I was young enough when I discovered that Murphy mattered to me that the reason I thought his name was Murphy is nobody taught me about the silent PH or the
Oh, dingers.
I called him Murphy.
So this is by Brenda, and Scott actually upbid himself. It's currently at $45 for the cute little hand holding the big hand. This is Glass by Brenda, and this is also by Brenda.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, do you guys want
I
to?
do want to touch it. What's
And
it
the
made
bottom's really beautiful too. Opening is $40. So she lives across the street from us. She's our neighbor.
of? Oh, nice.
So,
Nice.
And it's possible that she and I overlapped at ACAT, I think. Do you remember what year she went?
Scott bid 45 on the cup there.
We have a couple of nice glass pieces from the years gone by.
Yeah,
Big
there's
yellow.
been some really nice
Right.
pieces that have gone by. All right. So next, I will show. Oh, there's some really beautiful. Okay, so there will be a splattering of old pieces from our collections over the years. So this is by Anne Christine. Anne Christine is known for her glazing. So Rich did a bath house by Ingres, Jean Auguste Ingres, inspired by. We'll show you that later. This is by Anne Christine. She does beautiful glazing work in her acrylics.
She does
this is
amazing glazing.
amazing glazing. This is opening at $30 for this lovely canvas. Acrylic
Amazing glazing, how good.
This is
Little
a
subtle product placement.
product placement.
Product placement.
Like it.
What else is happening, Jesse?
I was going to show. This is
This
Elvis.
is
I love
amazing.
that.
And blacklight reactive. Are we doing that tonight? I think we are.
Let's go on the black light. Yes. Let's.
I had this moment one night. I do these things in the middle of the night where I stop and go, wait a minute. And while I was thinking, wait a minute, I came to the conclusion that maybe this was harmful, this black light. And so I looked it up, and it's within the range of what's safe. But we've been cooking ourselves in front of this light for like 11 years, and I suddenly panicked, like, what if it's not safe? So anyhow, turns out it's okay. So this is a pretty subtle use of the black light, which I think I highly approve of when you don't go overboard with the black light, which is my tendency. And then, so if you like the subtle use of the black light, I think this is pretty magical. I think this is one of my favorite pieces that
This is by Alvin, and it's
Alvin's
opening
done.
at $60. It's on a beautiful canvas. This is one that you'll be able to find magic in for years to come. Images within images.
what is the story of this?
That's a paper that was in a T-shirt.
Yeah, but when did we print glow in the dark on t-shirts?
Heritage, it looks like.
Yeah, that's crazy. And it's actually turned the black light out?
That's great. Is it glow? It's glow.
When did I make a heritage
We have
glow?
We have to ask Jerry.
One of our t-shirts glows in the dark. That's crazy. We have to put this aside. I'm putting this up at home.
I love to go through your closet, check it
Just
out.
with the black light to see what.
It's such a bizarre mangle of images because we just use these to stop it from standing in the back of the shirt. But then when it's glowing, actually I have a piece at the front I'd like to show in front of the black light.
Yeah,
It's kind of like this as
grab
well. Can I?
Yeah.
Is that too much?
No. What do you mean? How is it too much?
Can I see the landscape one?
Yeah, of course. Sorry.
Okay, just for fun, I want to show this in front of the black light
Ooh.
because
we have our Jack lovers
Oh
here.
my gosh.
And what happened is,
It glows in the dark.
Doug
Oh my wow.
Doug purchased this, and
Look at my.
I know. And can you just hold it because I haven't
Yes.
seen? Yeah, okay.
I love the depth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's really amazing.
So
Oh my gosh, Randy.
this was in our home for quite some time, and then I got overwhelmed by it, and I brought it in. I sold it to Doug Wong, and then he paid us for it, and then he left because he doesn't have room for it. And so I wasn't entirely sure what to do with it. And then actually, so here's what I like about blacklight is in the daytime. Since Doug bought it, I've changed it because where it is gold, it was previously white.
Pure white.
And I got overwhelmed by that. And then what I did was I painted over the white with the gold actually after I sold it. So I hope he's okay with that. And then I haven't seen it under the black light because what I really love is mixing the iridescent lights. Is that the right word? The black light lights with the metallics, because the metallics tend to absorb the black light and go dark. And so at nighttime, you've got these like souls exploding out of them. And
That red outline and everything, it's beautiful.
yeah, why do they even make neon signs if they have such quality blacklight paints these days? So there's that one, and I haven't seen it since I changed it, and I love it so much more.
Yeah.
So I do all the blacklight in my head while I'm painting, and then
Look at the handprints in the middle.
that's my signatures. I've been doing that since the 90s. Since Jesse
Our
was
Buffalo
born.
has one.
It is effective. Right?
It's fantastic.
It's absolutely superb. Yeah.
If you'd like to borrow it.
Of course we would.
Yeah.
We could put it right in our hallway. We can clear up the other like 4 things that are there. Yeah, when you first
Is
come
the
in.
blacklight
I was
on?
thinking it could also go.
No. Do you want me to
Turn
put?
it on. Are there still people with
You
us?
do
Like,
or
what
don't?
Watching us.
You do or not?
What?
You do want it on or no?
No, I wanna do like a thing. Oh, here, hold on to
I
this.
can wake up for those
Don't turn it around. It's a surprise.
I love the Rumble House on the piano. It's pretty cool.
This little. God, I love Art Blakey's huge hand in that
Yeah.
bottom
What happened
left.
with this
Like his
is,
watch, like
Jess and I were on
I love
CBC,
his neck.
yeah.
and we made a mural of like land and.
We have already
Sky.
in our house. We're all about Art Blakey.
Yeah, that's what we
Art
do.
Blakey, we're all
Okay,
about
let's start with the regular light. Yeah, Art Blakey's kind of like okay. So these two pieces were a landscape, and they actually make a nice click when you stick them together.
that. That's actually very, very
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
This was the ground and this was the sky, but amazingly enough, when you hung it upside down, this became the sky. This became the ground. It made as much of a valley.
Like concave.
Yeah, and so that was really neat because it was also a sun and a moon, right? It was a sun and a moon, and then we sold it, and then we purchased. It was donated back to the gallery, and so I had a chance to repaint it, and it became kind of this crazy hodgepodge of the island of Rue. But then, can you hit the black light?
Yeah.
Here's the black light reveal.
It's,
highly entertaining.
So-
yeah.
This is kind of like if the Isle of Rue was in Vegas, right? And then, can I just do one more thing? Okay, I'm gonna hold this, and then could you? Yeah, it makes a nice like actually snaps together.
Want me to try to
Yeah,
hold it?
ready?
Oh, you're gonna hold it.
I'm gonna hold it. You turn out the black light.
Turn it out.
Yeah.
Can we see? There's glow paint on the.
Is it still glowing or no?
It's kind of hard because it's kind of light.
I think in the dark
Yeah.
there's a skull, if I'm
Oh, is that-
remembering correctly.
That might be on a different piece.
Well, it does something.
That's on the round one. The skull's on
It
the
might be
round.
this.
It's
Is
this and the people.
the rocket.
Yeah,
people
it's
glow
the
in dark?
rocket and the people are glow.
Okay. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how this like snaps together. It's just one piece now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay. Anyways, those are just things I wanted to share.
Thank you.
Because I'm nerdy.
No, it's good.
I love them.
So much history. And I love
Yeah.
the stories of
Oh.
things coming and going.
That's the thing too, is like finding things again and finding new paints. This is by Kyle.
Oh,
So
and there's one more thing I want to share.
this is opening $20.
All these pieces are going
The
to TEDx.
Blacklight.
A Fibonacci.
Is that right?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fun.
Oh, like
The golden ratio.
golden ratio. Nice.
This is like playtime from like Felix. People come to our house and Felix is like, you gotta take your break through his swords, always in the same order. And this is Mayaka sushi.
Okay. More black light?
Yeah, I got a few more. Here's my. So we're going to 10x on Friday. And this is the starting piece. That we're
So this piece
Yeah.
This
is by
this
Kyle. $30 opening.
The theme is flow.
Yeah.
We're going to paint each of these sections and assemble it there. So
And
they'll
this
see what
piece
triangles
is opening
until it
10.
becomes,
Beautiful.
Nice.
Oh, so many fun things.
Echo.
Opening $10 for this one. So we have opening 30 for the larger one with the great blacklight swoops. Oh, and opening 10 for this one. And then this
I'm
one.
just looking at things on
No,
the
it's
black
okay.
light.
This one is no. You can show. You were
I
working
did, I
on this
showed
one
it.
tonight. What would you like? What's your opening bid for this one?
$5. It's a. It's the orchestra. What was the title of it? It's. I was working out of
or the Rite of
a
Spring.
Degas book.
Oh.
So this is not a direct copy, but inspired by a Degas painting.
So it was working out off of a Degas.
I was working off 2 Degas. That one and this one.
That one is Ingres.
Yeah, but it was
Oh,
something that he was
Degas.
inspired by to.
Ah. This is
Like
really
the odalisque there, it looks very much like the Ingres one. right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you recognize it?
That body, the one with the arm over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was because it was just a study that I was working. I'd be super
That's
impressed
cool.
if you recognize it. I mean, I'm not doubting. Oh, here it is. Here's the image I worked from.
Yeah. The circular one. Yeah. And it's funny, like it's just because it's such an unusual body shape that it sticks in your mind.
This is not blacklight reactive, but it's interesting to me how different paints do sort of work with the blacklight. So the white, I'm getting that on. See it on screen?
Yeah.
So, I mean, personally, I think the blacklight's a bit of a gimmick, but I'm super hooked. And I probably, if you're here before, I probably promised you I'd stop doing that, but it's a weird hobby of mine. I like to see them change in different day types and different lights.
That's the thing. You're always talking about light and luminosity, and I think
Yeah.
that's a different way to think about light.
Well, it's such a thrill to imagine the impact of the UV.
This is by Patty. What a beautiful creature. So on the back, this is a goddess of something. Starting bid $20, and there's. Would you like me to read the description? So this.
A little lengthy.
That's okay.
Is this character have a name?
Goddess of something. And look, there's a.
I know that's a title. I've asked if she has a name.
Oh, so-
Not for her in particular.
She doesn't have a name? Can I call her Alice?
Alice, absolutely.
And what is her species?
It's the little blurb I put on the back. I don't know where it came from, but I've called her the goddess of soon-to-be mothers.
Is she like a centaur though?
Kinda, yeah. There are different variations that I've been doing. Sometimes she has paws.
Right.
Sometimes it's a unicorn horn instead of antlers. Sometimes she has elephant ears. And then she doesn't have a swollen belly there, but in all the other iterations after, she has a swollen belly.
Right. I'm trying to decide if I want to be so crass as to follow through with this joke. But her name's Alice, and she's a what did we decide she was?
A centaur.
So Alice, the center has 3 humps. Alice, the center has 3 humps.
Love it.
Cancel culture. No. Is that funny? I don't know.
I don't even get it, but it's not rude or
We got
anything.
3 humps.
She has 2 sets of breasts.
Oh, is there 4?
Yeah, because it's behind that arm.
Oh, Alice the camel has 4.
Yeah.
Alice the camel has 4. Luckily, that song is modulated. So the hell is wrong with me? This first
You're
of all.
just tired. There's lots of stuff happening. You're doing good. The goddess of soon-to-be mother. She is serene at Scott has a question for you. She is serene.
How much
and
for
adoring,
this? Scott!
While
It's a Turkish bath.
I'm reading. You can just text him back.
You called it a
I know,
seven.
it's fine. You could just text him back.
Scott is a very bad boy.
While skin and hair color are variant, the
It's
commonalities.
not wrong. It's just that I didn't expect anybody to call me out.
You're doing great, Jess. Keep going.
I'm gonna start from the beginning. This is by Patty.
Hey, I got an idea.
I'm just gonna keep starting from the beginning. I'm gonna bring out my teacher voice. I love you. The goddess of soon-to-be mothers. She is serene and adoring. While skin and hair color are variant, the commonalities of forms often include horns to protect her little one, large ears to hear her little one, hooves or paws to speed to her little one, claws to both protect and gently redirect undesired behaviors. She has a long, long neck to oversee and wrap around her little one. Perhaps one of the more tragic parts of this creature is that she is forged and very, very rarely birthed. This is, in fact, a creature of potential. She is prepared for life that may or may not arrive and yearns for a reflection of heartbreaking beauty in something so small. They are dragons of a kind, an unknown of myth. When it's time, they go to the water. If a hag stone is in the body of water, she will cord herself to it and sleep until rebirth.
Beautiful.
That is really beautiful, Patty. So opening is $20. Do you need help, my love?
Yeah, you know, somebody put a whole bunch of stuff on top of this stuff. And where's my bag?
Your blue
How
bag?
did this pile
Your blue bag's right there, my love.
Where?
It's right out here. There's
Okay.
nothing on top of your
No,
stuff.
all this. I just moved all this paper. Are we gonna sell this?
No, not right now.
Yeah, I think we are. Are we gonna sell this?
Anything you want.
Yeah. How did
This?
this stuff get back there?
Because you said to clean off that, so I put it back there.
Clean it by selling it to the people.
Yeah, but you can't clean it at 7 o'clock. We have to clean it at 9 o'clock. I was like,
I can't win tonight. I'm seeing the pattern.
You
We're both
no.
winning, and it's
Yeah.
fantastic. It's
This is
it's coming together. We're gonna.
this
be
is
okay.
Lane. Jess and I.
Positivity.
Listen,
Yeah.
I love you too. This is Lane. This is Rich. That's Lane.
So there's a few things. There's going to be some emotional moments tonight, and this is one of them. I have too many bicycles, and I'm not getting rid of my bicycles. But because Jess and I have been doing this longer than we've been a couple, we've been. Oh, I was going to say slaving away. I don't think that's appropriate. We've been working our butts off for 12 years. We've been a couple for 10 years. We've been married for 5 years. And we're just suddenly realizing as we start to clear this space out that we have too much stuff. So she and I have been buying artwork together, even since we were friends,
Yeah.
right? And this we got from Lane, one of us, at Gorilla House. These pieces we're selling in the 600 range. And Lane, I don't know if he still lives here, but he's doing big things.
He got into a lot of public art.
Yeah. But we've got two pieces that we've been cherishing for quite some time from Lane. What's his last name?
Shorty.
Shorty. And the fights that took place over these pieces were phenomenal. And then so week by week we go through like the different shelves of things, and where she and I had the luxury of collecting a lot of art at fairly reasonable opportunities.
Mhm.
We now have to make some serious cutthroat decisions about what we're going to. So again, at the end of we've got a storage space over there and we've got an apartment over there. I'm modifying my son's bunk bed so that we can put bikes under it.
Or over it or something.
There's a
on the
bit of a
side
bicycle buying problem in our family. But we're making the artwork we've collected available to people for purchase because we can't possibly keep it all. So here's two pieces by Lane. What we're going to start the opening bids at?
I
Jess.
kind of think he started them at 100 last week.
Okay, well, these haven't been in yet, and I'm going to start these at 50, even though we said 100. So this is not just paper, but really high quality, handmade paper. This piece will start the bidding at $50. We'll call this lane big, and this is lane little. And I actually think whichever piece I don't sell of this,
Yeah.
I will gift to Felix's mom, Shauna,
Oh yeah.
because she collected a few back in the day as well.
Yeah.
And I think she would quite like it. But if you'd like to bid on either of these pieces by Lane Shorty, do you know why I always stall on Lane's last name? Is because like the hip hop artist would call the cute girl Shorty.
Shouty.
Yeah, Shouty.
You didn't answer his question. How much for your piece, man?
Oh, $5. If I don't get $5 for that, I'm quitting making art forever.
Opening $5, Scott.
On a high quality canvas, this is easily, Scott, you know what? You could paint this canvas blank and have a nice $80 canvas. The blank canvas worth 80, but I'm selling it for $5 tonight because I'm crazy. Buy this and get a free mattress. What do we got here?
Careful, the petals might still be wet. This is by Georgia. Opening is $20.
Georgia.
She's painting her summer to her.
I cannot get the light off of here. How about this? Nope. How about this?
It's not Art Blakely.
No,
Don't want it. I see what you're
I
saying.
like this one more.
Rich, can I bid $20
On which?
for
For on Georgia's?
yes.
Yeah, of course.
$20 for George's work.
So Scott bid 25 on your black and white piece.
That's way better than $5. Thank you, Scott. And for $25, I'm totally willing to retitle this piece as Semi-Orgy. Ta-ta. Remind me which Scott that is?
court.
Right.
And then Donna bid $20 on the sunflowers.
You are my sunflower, my only sunflower. You make me happy.
There was one you showed a bit earlier. It had just a little bit of black light, but it looked like it was like bears.
That one, yeah.
I was trying to see that one a little bit.
Yeah,
Of course.
So this is really cool because this young man made a piece in our auction every week, probably for the past 4 years. And some weeks, like the people that get it come in and snap these pieces up. And some weeks, they didn't find the right owner. And Jess and I bought a ton of them, and we put them up on the wall. We put a whole show up. Everything sold at like 5 times the price of what we put them in the auction for.
Nice.
So these are the pieces I think you need to have the vision to see this in your home, to take it home and realize it belongs in your home. This is like maybe the biggest gap between Jess and I. She likes to see something first, whereas is that safe to say, Jess? About the envisioning?
Yeah.
Yeah, like for me, I had no problem seeing what these would look like if we hung a whole wall full of
Right,
them.
yeah.
And when we hung a wall full of them, they flew off the walls. Whereas like in the auctions, sometimes they struggle.
Was there a starting bid for that one?
Which
That
one? This
one is 60 opening.
60 open?
Mark has a lot of art that we just haven't put up. Mark likes all kinds of things.
Could I take a picture?
Of course, yeah.
If you're waffling,
Do you
and this
want
isn't
to-
a high pressure
in the light?
sales tactic, but here's my high pressure sales tactic. We're doing this for 8 more months, and it's not a bad idea to stockpile some art for the rest of your life because there won't be a Rumble House next year.
This is another piece by the same artist. Opening 30.
I feel bad for high pressure sales.
These are all by Alvin. Yeah.
Is the guy that he did the comedic
No, that's
the young man?
Hey, is Alvin here?
No,
He didn't come tonight. Oh.
Alvin used to do like record.
Yeah,
He did
absolutely,
records.
yeah.
That's why we've got a
For
couple.
sure. These are some of his
And
different
we've got at
pieces.
least another
I've
one.
got a record on my wall outside my office.
That's cool.
Do we own all these?
No.
Which
So
ones do we own?
we don't own these ones.
We
These
don't
are
own
newer
what,
ones.
any of them?
No, these ones are new ones.
Maybe we hang a show.
Sure, we can. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so those ones are by Alvin. Opening 30 for the smaller ones.
So if you'd like one of Alvin's pieces, let us know which one, and we will. Or maybe we just do like a midnight
And
move, shut the
it's
gallery
kind-
down, and keep
It's
all of
kind
Alvin's
of fun,
stuff.
Randy. There's bears in all of Alvin's stuff. So bears is kind of like his
Is that right?
yeah, his theme is like go-to imagery, and then he weaves the bears in no matter where. Like you'll see, like this one looks sharper and harsher, but there's a cute little teddy bear, and like there's skulls, but then there's like cute little teddy faces, all like little guys all
Well, I'll
over the
do the
place.
the opening bid on the blue one. Then.
60 on this one, awesome.
Don, you go ahead.
No, I'm not. I won't compete with you, Randy.
Oh, come on.
When? Only with me? Is that what it is?
There's like a provoking point, and then it's like all the civility's gone, and
So true.
brothers and sisters and husbands and wives are. Jess and I get into pitting against each other sometimes too.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to go close because there's
Here-
so much.
here you go.
There's so much, I think, in it to kind of see.
Yeah. So
Pies.
these two cards and the envelopes are by Donna. So they're scratch board cards, and they
What
come
are
with
you
the
doing right now?
envelopes. Opening $10 for the two. So Mother's Day is coming up. Lovely florals to give to people who mother. People who mother. Or not. Give to a friend who you love.
We also have some dark gray
$10 opening bid for these.
Rumble
pair of cards.
House, the Isle of Rue t-shirts. This is gray, small, and I think we got a pile of light gray ones.
Do you want me to help you find?
Nope, that's okay. I'm gonna just show what we have here. And there's light gray and dark gray, Isle of Rue. That's our next project of assorted sizes. So if you're interested in this one's two size extra large.
I really like the color scheme on the green.
And so if you're interested in one of these, let us know. Ooh, this is a rather personal piece. We have a green wall at the Rumble House,
Oh no!
and the what's that thing called? The thermostat got knocked off like years ago. So I usually hang a green canvas over top of the thermostat. Every now and then I will need a palette when I don't have a palette handy. So I ended up grabbing the green canvas off the wall and using it as a palette. And then while I was painting tonight, I was overwhelmed by the face that the random marks that I made as palette work. I could see this, like cloud watching. I was talking to Neil. I was like, hey, can you pass me that green thing over there? And he handed it to me. And so I'm going to say, if nobody bids on this, this is going to go into the home collection I actually do keep. I'll put that there.
What's the opening bid on that one?
This one, $5.
I was going to ask you about the t-shirt.
What size would you like? Normally we give the t-shirts away
Oh, no.
because propaganda.
That's the one I absolutely love, is the light gray one.
Yeah, so there's different sizes.
Is that
So-
Donna?
Yeah.
Here, give me the light gray one. Donna, I was
There's
just thinking
different
about you.
sizes.
It's a 2 times large.
This one,
You've done so much for us.
and yeah, this one's neat because it has the darker background, and then it's like a red, orange, yellow color
What size do you
scheme.
wear?
And here, one sec, I'm just gonna go.
I was thinking either get it for myself or for one of my kids, but
Which
I don't know,
is,
like a
which is
medium
your-
or- medium or like, what are you wearing? The extra
I
one?
just threw this on. It's size large and it's a gift.
no, I'll buy
That's
it.
so you, Rich. Get the shirt off my back.
Yeah, that's right. No, I'll buy
It's a
it.
gift.
Randy, you're gonna buy a bunch of art. Just sit down and keep bidding.
Yeah, that's right.
So good. It's all coming together.
I've only had it on for 10 minutes. They actually soften
It's
up.
authentic now.
Yes.
They soft.
$10 on this little green one. I love the story and the face.
That is so nice. $10 to Janet.
Going once, going twice sold.
No. There's other people have it. It can go up higher.
Do you want to put this one in, Rich? Or you got a plan?
I'm gonna put this one in.
It's gonna early days.
The early days, that's right.
Early days.
Oh.
So this is just a similar situation where I was testing out watercolors on some nice card. It's curled a little bit here, but that's because you're going to put it in a frame and it'll sit nice and flat. Or you could just tack it to a wall and sit nice and flat. It's really high quality matte paper, matte board. There are so many layers to this, but maybe now is a good time to tell a story. I want to tell a story. Okay, so when I was 7, we were going to go to Disneyland and I got sick and we didn't go. And then I took Oliver when he was a little guy, and took Oliver and Robin. Robin, I took a little late. Robin was about 13 and Oliver was closer to 5. And we weren't going to take Felix to Disneyland because we're not those people. Or at least I didn't think
Not
we
gonna
were.
organize.
We
it,
are
and
now.
We're like,
So what happened was it seemed like Felix and his brother and sister and his mom and stepdad would go to Disneyland, and we'd take him to like Hawaii and go look at volcanoes or something. My friend Kevin, getting longer, the story's getting longer as we go, had a heart failure and cannot travel on his own anymore, but he did take the school on a school trip to Los Angeles where we went to the Getty. That was for my sake. The observatory for Travis's sake, the San Diego Zoo for Travis's sake, and then Disney for Kevin's sake, where we all kind of convened. And I didn't know it was important for Felix to go to Disney until I got booked to take the kids to Disney for a week. And he would wake up in the middle of the night. I just see one eye. We have a pretty small apartment. We can kind of see his room from my room. We'd see this one eye pop open, like, got a lot of nerve going to Disney without me, Dad, and he'd drop back out. So we kind of decided that we'd go to Disney. And while I was on the trip with Kevin, I said, Kevin, since you can't travel anymore by yourself, maybe when I take my family to Disney, it would be a good idea if you came with us. And Kevin's also a master Disney planner. So came back, talked to Jess about it. Jess is super thrilled about it now. I was more going for Felix's sake. I kind of had this idea I'd surprise him on the way to airport until I found out that was a thing in the 90s. Like there was a TV commercial and everybody did that. And as soon as I realized it wasn't my original idea, I lost interest and I told Felix right away. So Felix is living day to day for us going to Disney on July 6th. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the rest of the story. It's a little bit sad. I found out the other day that my mom might be dying right now. And it could happen that my mom, her health is kind of unstable to the extent that normal people would probably cancel their trip to Disney. The thing is that my life kind of started out at 7, not going to Disney. And if my mom goes to heaven anytime in the next few weeks, I'm going to Disney for her with Felix. And I was having just a shit day when I found this out yesterday. And this was a splotch of paint on my desk. And I know that the graffiti kids really love Mickey Mouse all around the world. I know my friend who's a gangster and grew up in gangs loves Mickey Mouse. The thing I really discovered taking the high school kids from Cochrane, who aren't really even of an age that they would necessarily understand who or why Mickey Mouse, right? My little boy and Mickey Mouse, I was at like shit rock bottom sitting at my desk trying to act normal. And I had this piece of paper I'd been mixing colors on. And I took some ink and I dripped Mickey onto the paper. And then as that dried, I went back into it with some white gesso to cut out where some definition. And I've just been tinkering on this Mickey Mouse yesterday and today. And it brought a lot of joy back into my heart. And then I was at the end of the day and I was like, I got everything out of this piece of paper I possibly can. But in terms of like my life, I have never loaded so much of everything that matters to me into one piece of paper. And I'm not going to keep this paper under any circumstance, but somebody that believes in, there's a word for it when a piece of paper, when an object has a soul. It's kind of like a,
Art, like,
yeah. And so that's this piece of paper. It needs to have the right home, and it can go at any price, but it needs to be somebody that's going to appreciate it and find a nice home for it. And actually, the other funny thing is Mickey's got this one super buff Popeye arm, which is also funny. But that's my story about Mickey Mouse and also kind of my way of breaching that story because I didn't want it to be a spectacle.
Yeah.
But for instance, we're going to take Georgia to go visit my mom, and she might have 6 years left, but she might have 6 weeks left. And so a lot of people have been connected. I actually had the same conversation with Neil tonight too, because I was telling Neil last week why I became a teacher. And probably the biggest reason I became a teacher was to get to know my mom. I don't really know her very well until I became a teacher. She and I kind of became more like brother and sister for about 5 years, where we overlapped the end of her career and the beginning of mine. And then she got Parkinson's, and it's been a slow journey of watching her kind of erase.
yeah, like stop being her.
But I'm going to spend probably 2 days a week for the rest of the summer just going to visit her. And she's not really talking right now, but you can see the lights are on. And I'm just going to sit and sketch with her and not talk. And that's both me sharing the story of this painting and maybe telling people in the gentlest way I can. Yeah?
That's great.
If anybody's met my mom and wants to come and visit her, we'll be going maybe 2 times.
That's a good. Yeah, when we're talking about the Gorilla House pieces and stuff too, she was our bouncer at Gorilla House back in the day.
Yeah, so between Rumble House and getting my teaching degree, that's kind of how I know my mom.
Yeah.
And that's actually why I got into teaching, because Bruce Robertson and I, we traced our way through this path that I went to school with 2,500 kids. 6 of us applied to ACAD, and 2 of us got in. Out of the 2 of us that got in for the first 2,500 kids, Martin and I both graduated, but 300 of us got into ACAD that year. That was pretty close to the year you were born. And out of the 300 of us that got in, so 6 of us applied out of 2,000, 2 of us got in. Out of those 2 that got in, there was 300 of us in our foundation year. There's 150 of us in second year. There's 75 of us in third year. And maybe 69 people stuck it out until 4th year. So there wasn't as much of a dropout rate between 3rd and 4th year. Bruce and I went to different universities, but graduated around the same time. And he and I calculated out of the 69 people I graduated with and the 100 people that he graduated with, we were maybe one of 5 people working in our field. So drilling down from 2,000 per school down to 2 people getting in, that might be 1 person per 1,000. Out of the 1 person per 1,000 that got in, that was 300 people that drilled down to 69. Out of those 69, 2 of us having jobs. We decided that maybe we'd make a change. Bruce seriously considered becoming a teacher. And I went to the office and I told my boss that I was going to apply for UFC. I missed the deadline by 4 days. So I gave my boss 360 days notice. And that kept me in that career. Actually, this all rotates and rotates and rotates and rotates because that was my 3rd disruption.
Yeah.
Dreamweaver was just becoming popular. And I was a month ahead of the curve of everybody in my work getting laid off.
Yeah.
They kept coming by my office and say, "Hey, you're going to be a teacher next year." And I was like, "Yep." And then they go in Roland's room and fire Roland. And so all of these things have looped back over and over and over and over again between teaching, my mom, these disruptions that keep changing our lives. This is Jeff. Was it Jeff and Joanna?
That one might just be a Jeff Watt.
Jeff Watt from Gorilla House. So we are dipping into our stash and selling some of our most precious stuff, not because we're desperate for money, but because we need to find homes.
Art history reference.
Yeah. Well, this is double
This-
art history reference
this is
because
not
this is
Jeff Watt.
Jeff Watt recording something from art history.
Yeah.
It's also art history because it's from the Gorilla House.
Right.
Right. 12 years of art making in Calgary.
Does that one opening?
Did we buy it?
Yeah, those are ours.
Anything. We'll take
Okay.
anything.
Okay.
This is the last shield we'll be selling. It is a metal tactical shield. You can use it for battle. You can use it for the apocalypse. You can really bang somebody in the face with it if you want. I've been thinking it'd be great to jog with. You know, like I'm jogging, guys breaking into a car, halt there, villain, bang, keep jogging. But maybe somebody was telling that Felix has swords, and we actually have real swords in our house. I don't know why, but we do. And then I decided I needed a cutlass, and I bought a cutlass, and I was like, well, now that I have a cutlass house, I need a shield. So I ordered a shield. As soon as the shield arrives, I was like, these would be great to paint on. But I thought since I only had one shield and it came all the way from China, and they weren't expensive, they're like $75 each, I think. Because I had one shield all the way from China, I thought if I ordered a couple more shields, they'd be fun to paint on. But I ended up ordering 10 shields, and that's how we made it this far, right? We sold... there's a shield for this teacher I know that was having some struggles because they're not just art, but they make you feel really safe.
It's kind, yeah, I was gonna say it's a psychological thing.
Yeah. So I gave a shield to Galen, who worked at the Rumble House for
And
12
Pearl
years for
House,
free.
Yeah.
Jesse has a shield. Felix has a shield. Oliver has a shield. I've got one last to paint. This is my favorite shield, and it's mine. The only thing is I'm never going to get around to painting that last shield unless I sell this one. This comes from the only meme that I like, but I love.
Yes.
Right?
I embroidered.
Do you guys
it,
know
you
this meme?
painted it.
How did it go again?
That can only be
You-
one
you
ring to rule them all.
You
No.
swerve to.
You swerve to avoid a squirrel. Unknown to you, the squirrel pledges his allegiance.
A life of. Yeah.
Yeah, in your darkest hour, the squirrel arrives. So
Those are Tolkien's runes.
they are.
They're runes, yeah.
No, this is the I write on the
He
shields
writes
in
in
runes.
runes. Yeah. He can write.
Wow.
Do you know why?
Because he can.
Well, because I bought the Hobbit and I noticed the pattern of HOBBIT.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, if that's an H, then that's a weirdo. Those are definitely B's. That's an I and that's a T. And if that's the case, then the next word is a 2-letter word that starts with this shape and ends with what should be an O. And I just deciphered the
That's fun.
little did I know halfway through the book, they give you a few clues.
I did this when I was 8.
Yeah.
So what does it say?
Which part? This? Oh, it says in runes, you swerve to avoid a squirrel, and the squirrel provides a life debt. It's the first part of the yeah. But my suggestion is just try it out.
Oh,
You've done this a million times.
No.
And it was a garbage can or something. It was either a cardboard shield that you made yourself and you really couldn't batter at, or it was a garbage can you didn't
So
have
while
anything on
people
top.
are showing that, Dusty bid $50 on Mickey.
You can put it on
Thank
your
you,
hand.
Dusty.
There's no pressure. Doesn't it? Just stand up with it.
Randy, hi.
Don't you feel like amazingly safe?
That's true.
Yeah. So, would you like to try?
Yeah.
Do you have one? I thought maybe no.
Bless
It's strange to
As
feel.
counselors, you probably need them more.
Yeah.
Immediately feel.
Deflect.
Yeah,
You
like
immediately
upset
feel your inner
clients,
warrior.
Inner warriors.
deflect criticism.
Criticism. That's
Yeah.
cute. It's actually in some ways lighter than I would have thought
Yeah.
too. Like it,
Yeah.
but
So
still serve
here's
you.
the other funny
I
thing.
do feel good.
These were $75 each. They shipped from China. I probably had a watch list because I ordered 10 tactical shields
It's
from
fun.
China.
Wow.
After we ordered 10, they went up to $100 because
That's right.
They're
You can't- you
engineering,
can't just
that's
love it.
right.
Our society's breaking down.
They're arming themselves.
quite literally somebody in the marketing department realized that they were underpriced and they raised the price by 25%.
Here for our next piece, we have
And
a-
for our next piece,
we have a new artist tonight with us. A big round of applause. Is it Tiana? Tiana, very welcome. This is so beautiful. So, just wanted to show the texture to the people at home. This go. I saw the shield. We're just showing the shield. I was like, this goes with that piece
Oh, it
very
does.
well. Like the power. I love her.
Oh yeah, one of the shields was a
gaze.
Medusa.
Right. Yeah.
I think
Actually,
we're
yeah.
not good. This is what I do. It's not that good.
So the opening of this piece is $100, and you can really see like the depth and the detail is so lovely. And I was gonna say, yeah. Do you?
That is just amazing.
Really pretty.
So text 403-629-7424
That's 403-629-7424.
if you would like to bid on this beautiful.
Her
piece
eyes
by
really do
Tiana.
How
glow.
much is it again?
$100 opening.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Have it.
No, it's so beautiful. Right.
If I had the money, I would.
Yeah. Yeah,
Can
it's
you
a
see the eyes on the snakes?
beautiful. Right? The detail is so beautiful.
We only have 2 books.
So, oh, there's really beautiful depth. Yeah, I really like the eyes on the little snakes.
Did you try it on?
Yeah, I
Did
did.
you ever do this when you were a
Definitely
kid?
felt safe.
Yeah, right? It's just kind of weird, like. Da, da, da. My last shield I'm painting is Basquiat painting.
Ooh.
So I'm just gonna.
Da, da, da.
Dusty bid 50 on the Mickey.
Mickey. Okay, here we go. $50 going once. Where's my finger? $50 going twice. $50 going 3 times. Dusty, I believe you will give Mickey a good home. What else do we have bids on?
Should I bring something up? Or?
Yeah, if there's anything that's got a bid on it, can
Oh,
I have it?
bid on it? Yeah.
Should I put a price or?
Does this
Oh
have a
yeah.
bid?
What's your open? So we're gonna kind of wrap some stuff up and then we'll bring you up, okay? And then we
Okay,
can.
no problem.
Yeah. you
Has this
said-
got a bid?
Yes, $20 to Dawn.
$20 going once, $20 going twice, $20 going 3 times.
Woo.
And you just got, we're not going to time it because we're short staffed, but if you bid on this very soon. Okay, that's 2, right? What else has got a bid?
Alvin's for
Almond?
60 Terandi.
$60 going once, $60 going twice, $60 going 3 times. And if you're going to bid against this piece, do it very quickly.
Yeah, I don't have money.
That one is at $25.
This got a bid?
Scott, yeah.
I missed that one. Scott, you're my favorite.
$25.
$25 going once, $25 going twice, $25 going 3 times.
I'm broke. I'm sorry.
You know that's
No,
not.
you
You
don't
never
know.
have to
I know.
apologize for
I see so
anything.
much good artwork I want to buy. I'm like,
I know,
shoot.
but you
Yeah.
never
Listen,
have to
no,
apologize.
and it's not just that. It's that like people are struggling to buy
Everyone-
artwork.
yeah.
People are
Fair
struggling
enough.
to make rent. People are struggling to buy food.
That's so fair.
People are struggling to keep the homes they keep their art in. And like there's no guilt or shame.
That's great. And that's such beautiful
We just
artwork,
love that
too.
you came.
Oh, yeah,
And
I'm
you know what? We've
happy.
missed you because you used to live across the street and we don't see you as much.
I know.
So just
I was kind of hurt by Horizon on it, so I
Yeah,
was-
like-
it's healed now. So
That's good.
this is a strange
No,
piece that
no.
used to cover our
Different artists, yeah.
this used to cover our what's it called? Thermostat.
So this is $10 to Janet.
$10 going once, $10 going twice, $10 going 3 times. Did this get a bid?
I like that too.
No, not yet. Opening 30 for that one.
It really like this isn't really a selling point because it's not what you do with art. But it's really
It's
nice to
satisfying,
touch.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's satisfying.
What is it?
It's a
You have
round
to buy it to
canvas.
find out. It feels like skin though. And I've been having this
Oh,
experience.
perfect. That's what I want. Yeah.
I've been having this experience with paint and skin lately, and I'm not sure what it is, but maybe I'm losing my mind. But there's been a few
doing
paintings that I just can't stop touching. And actually, when I took the kids to the Getty in LA, I gave them this instruction. I'm like, just stand out of arm's reach. because you'll see a piece, you'll forget everything you know, and your hand will reach out to touch it. There's a scene.
We got in trouble all the time. when we
Yeah,
went to the
there's a
gig.
scene in Captain America. I forget the name of the famous actress. She's done some other things, and the actress inadvertently reached out and touched Chris what's his nuts pectoral muscle. She's just like, oh. And they caught it on film and became part of the film, but it was just the actress was so mystified by his flesh muscles that I get to do that.
Oh my jeez.
Wait, did this get a bid?
No. Opening 30.
You can
Also
still
by
buy this
Alvin.
for $30.
I like the cosmic background on that.
Yeah, cosmic.
And how is it to touch?
Less fleshy. Is
Okay,
it?
like I think only because you asked twice, I'm gonna actually show you.
This
I want to see this round one
Just
anyway.
touch that, it feels kind of normal.
this is by Morgan. Acrylic on canvas opening $40.
Doesn't it feel kind of magic? Maybe that's also part of it. Is it feels a little bit like a drum.
It does.
I want to touch your drum.
No, you gotta buy it. I'm just teasing. Doesn't it
Little
feel?
faces. I thought they were mouths from.
Let it kind of like spin it. So yeah, like that. Is it just me or am I crazy?
I think Mark would like that too, or is it too much of the same? The bears are pretty fantastic.
Do you want me to take a picture of it?
Yes, I
You
do.
can hide it for 5 years and give it for Christmas.
I
The rumble is gone.
I'm horrible
This
at
piece
hiding
is
things.
opening at $20.
I'm like that with everything. I buy a present and yeah, I'm all like.
I told Felix's mom that I was going to surprise him on the way to Disney. And then I called him up to make sure he had his passport. And then I realized I had a stomachache from lying to him. I called him back 10 minutes later. It's like, dude, I got to tell you something. We're going to Disneyland. He's like, whoa.
Some kids love the anticipation that the kids get.
Yeah, I would have really robbed him of the. And also,
I'm all about anticipation.
because we talk about dopamine in our house, that I think surprising him with Disneyland, crushing him for 3 days, and then bringing him home would have been a pretty like in and out dopamine
Too
dump.
heavy.
Yeah. So you can kind of like, you know,
Absolutely.
squeeze some of that energy out for, over the next few weeks.
Oh, I missed out as a kid. Missed out.
Did this get a bid? No bid?
I hope you get to go.
No bid? Okay.
They got some cool dark lights there. They're just very unique.
Very
Have you been to Disneyland?
Would you
No,
like
I
to?
wish.
Would you like to put your pieces in the auction?
Sure. Do I just put them up here? Or
Yeah,
Do
here.
I put
And
this on
what-
or just tell
What's your opening bid?
$5?
$5.
So like a
each?
Vito's.
Yeah. Awesome. And I'm
Why
so
is my
sorry.
hair so itchy
Remind
tonight?
me of your name.
Oh, Christina.
Christina. Thank you. I'm
Sorry.
sorry. No, I'm
I haven't
sorry.
been here for a long time.
My
so it's
brain.
okay.
Thank you. So $5 opening bid for Christina's beautiful pieces. So this is the first one. Reminds me of a Dali, like very open spaces. And
We had this funny idea because Jess has a Salvador Dali.
Oh, I love Salvador.
And she has a Dali and I have a George Brock. And it's crazy that the two of us have these two because we have probably a couple of the most expensive art pieces in the province. And she scored the Dali in Vegas,
San Francisco.
San Francisco, under like such nefarious circumstances.
It's not very.
Yeah.
What's that?
And then, nope, you got to buy a piece of art. And then my
The store was open.
my George Brock is,
No, I wish.
here's two connections. We have a friend named Alexander Elliott who was good friends with Salvador Dali and also knew Picasso. And so Picasso and Brock were one and the same. They often couldn't tell whose piece was what. But my mom came to Alberta in the 60s and there was a hotel that was closing. They had an original George Brock lithograph print, one of 30,000, but still a lithograph print touched by the hands of George Brock. And nobody at the auction knew who George Brock was. And my mom scored it for $60.
Oh, wow.
So we were at an art opening the other day, and I told this guy he had his own gallery, like a real one, not like this one. And so he was like, "Oh, have you ever thought about getting your George Brock appraised?" I'm like, "No, it's priceless." And then he's like, "Yeah, but what do you think it's worth?" I'm like,
Priceless.
"No, it's priceless." About the fourth time I said it, he's like, "Oh, you mean it's priceless?" And but
It's interesting.
you've got us. So we met. She had 300 records on vinyl. I had 300 records on vinyl. She had a Salvador Dali. I had a George Brock.
A match made in heaven.
We really were.
You're so sweet.
We probably got 4,000 records now. It's the only thing we spend money on. And Disney.
So it's by Christina, opening $5.
What's with our light tonight? It's so bright. Oh, what happened to these lights?
I turned them off because of the black light
Oh, you
experience.
still have to tell me when you do
I'll bet
stuff.
10 for Christina's Disneyland trip fund.
$10 for the pair of them,
No,
or for
just
this
the
one?
Oh,
$10.
sure.
That's
on the condition she
beautiful.
puts that money
Yeah,
aside.
that's right. Puts it into an RS, to
No
a
strings.
savings account, and then a few
Woo!
years, it'll be
Is
worth
that
$11.
too right?
Spend it all on cryptocurrency.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm kidding. I
Oh my gosh, then you'll probably be like a multi-millionaire at the end.
Well, I mean, or you can grow completely.
Absolutely. So
Yeah, it's a
So
stock
this is
market.
$10.
It's a stock market.
Well, some-
I love the
Some-
texture in that song.
It reminds me of the stock market. If you
Mhm.
think about it. You know, when they go to they buy
Is
like,
it oil?
bid on stuff.
Acrylic, but she really uses it like oil.
She really does.
She
Oh,
uses.
It's almost got a bit of a watercolor look to
Oh,
it.
that is water.
Oh, this is watercolor. I'm so sorry. I'm
Oh,
jumping
sorry.
in on other people's
Got it.
conversations, and
Oh, that.
I'm mixing everything up. I apologize for that.
Oh, nice.
I have a cramp in my foot. Just in case I start acting weird. Throw myself on the ground. Like, "Ah, foot."
Did it go to you or?
So
What?
Oh.
They'll wait and then come back to it.
Here, we can go. Yeah, we can go. Do you want to time it out? Randy has
Is
this one
this-
at $10.
$10 going once. $10 going twice. $10 going, get my hand on the camera 3 times. And you got 10 minutes to bid against us. One of our more supportive bidders, Richard from Illinois, has I think he's been waking up late a few times in a row. I was like, I missed the auction. So you might be able to resell these pieces in an hour.
Has he ever been here live?
No,
We went and saw
we went
him
to see him
Yeah.
in Chicago.
Chicago,
In Illinois. We went to Carbondale.
Carbondale.
It was really fun. We got to meet him and Terry, and we got to see Richard's studio, and it was just so magic.
Well,
Oh,
because
nice.
Richard bought a bunch of my work, and we got really busy. And then he said he put together a show, and he'd been waiting 2 years to put a show together. And then what he did was he split the show half between me and half between him. So that was my first show in Illinois. It actually was my first show in America, and we flew out to see it.
Right, yeah.
We flew out to see it. When I got there, though, we went to Richard's house first. And wall to wall is Rich Teru paintings. I'm like, I think I misunderstood because I thought he put my paintings in a show. And these are my good ones, right? Like I'm looking around. He had maybe, I don't know, did he have like 50 paintings of mine in his house?
Yeah.
And I kept seeing these paintings. That's one of my best paintings, you know? And I was like, I thought, okay, so I misunderstood. We flew all the way
Slightly
to
awkward, but we'll make it work. Yeah.
we flew all the way to Illinois to see 1 or 2 of my paintings in this show, and he's got lots of my paintings, but they're actually at his house. And I just thought, well, I don't know if anybody even knows what a fool I feel like right now, but it was pretty like embarrassing to get there and see all my best work still in his house. I'm like, did he forget to put me in the show? Did he not think we were coming? And then we went to the show, and half the show was mine.
Yeah.
And there were pieces I also forgot about that were like really like what I loved about his pieces, because he bought some of my best pieces. I'd say between well, you guys too, actually, all you guys. But
We have some great pieces.
where's that little green one? Oh, this one. These were the kinds of pieces he put in the show. These 15-minute bangers that just came out when I was kind of in between moments. Oh, I'm not holding that on the picture. And so there was a whole show full of these. And when I got to the show, I got to tell you, I am inherently quite arrogant and full of myself most of the time anyways.
You're not supposed to agree so readily there, Justin.
I just like it's,
But I was so humbled by this other
I was like,
man.
wait for it. It's
When I saw this work in this show collected together, I was like, I am a lot better than I even think I am. Because I was so blown away by the work, and I did it. And I was just blown away by it.
That's nice.
And that's not even the best part of the story. It's tell me if it's time for me to shut up about me. But there was all these pieces in the show, and I was like, wow, like these are really great pieces. I can't believe I did that. I can't imagine how I did that. And when I saw them together, I'm like, the continuity and the crossover and these things. I was like, who is this guy? And then on top of all that, there was like 2 days of this super overexposure, like just grotesque love and joy and happiness. Just too much. And then Richard is also super hyperactive and running around the house at like 300 kilometers, showing us everything. He's got a billion things in his house. And then just when there's nothing left, like absolutely tapped out, he goes upstairs and he grabs this box, which is how you should collect art. And he's like tipping down the stairs with this, like the box is like this wide and this wide and this thick. And he's like stumbling down the stairs, and you think we're going to have to call an ambulance, but they don't even go to that part of Illinois. And he gets to the bottom, he puts the box down, and he lifts it up, and he starts flipping through these Shepherd Fairies and these posters that he
From
collected.
the 70s.
Yeah, RuPaul's first show.
He got a
This
poster.
pile
yeah.
of paper in this box, and cherished in this box, half of the box. And every time I'm like, oh, these are neat. That's neat. And then I see this one piece sticking out. I was like, I can't wait to see what that next piece down is. Whoever made those marks is like, that's my new hero. And they flip it over. Son of a bitch, it's Rich Tayru again. And then underneath there, I'm like, oh, I like those marks. I can't wait. He pulls 4 more off. I just see this corner peeking out. It's like, it's another Rich Tayru. And so okay, I need to shut up.
You're
about
really
myself, but
cute. No.
It was a pretty
It
big
was
awakening.
beautiful. It's nice when it's like you're separated from your work and then you see it in a different context.
Yeah.
And it's like you see that part of it and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, that's good. And then you're like, that's mine. And it's like
That's
this
how I felt.
moment
Like,
of
whoa.
And you're meeting it. And it just,
Yeah.
I was
yeah,
thinking
100%.
whoever made marks there is my new favorite artist, and then it was me.
But how nice is that?
Pretty nice.
I was talking to the kids in class about that today because they don't see what they're doing because they're working on it so intently
Right.
that they stop seeing how beautiful their work is. They
or
stop
they're so
seeing,
self-conscious.
And here's maybe the
Yeah.
part of the
and
story
they
that
can't even see it. So that's the thing is like
And
to
here's
be able
maybe-
to distance
here's
yourself.
maybe the part of that story that we're taking for granted is that her job and my job 20 hours a week, full time with children,
40 hours.
is to 40 hours a
80
week,
hours.
80 including both of us. Is to stay in that room and stay in the moment and catch those glimpses of those kids and put the heat lamp on them so,
So
the
they
kids
can
can
see
see the
it.
beauty of their work in themselves. And we get so wrapped up in that it took flying to Illinois to put the heat lamp on myself
Yeah.
and experience that thing that we do for
How-
the kids.
what's
all day.
important.
That's the big thing, is that we
That's
forget to
nice.
look at ourselves.
Yeah. That's right.
I never forget to look at you though. You're beautiful.
Just tell us the story of how you got your big fancy painting.
It's not as nefarious. I don't know. Now I'm wondering if I should make something up because it was actually like a funny, like, you know how P went to Disneyland on this trip. There was no guns. I just went to an art gallery in San Francisco. It was like my sister had a band trip in Disneyland, and my mom
Nobody
and I
believes you.
booted along, and then we went into the galleries, and
Nobody
then I
believes
saw.
you.
Well, no, it's kind. I don't know.
She's telling the truth. I made the whole thing up. I'm just kidding.
I'm way
go
more.
on.
I'm way more interesting when it's like him telling the story. It's kind of cool because
You don't know what to think
it's a-
now.
It's a print from. So Salvador Dali illustrated all of the cantos from Dante's Inferno, and so there's 100 cantos, and I picked this one from Purgatory, and so I picked
Yeah.
it, and yeah, exactly.
Actually, all kidding aside, erasing all the nefarious deals, you were just a teenager and you bought a ridiculously expensive piece of artwork, and that's actually probably the most exceptional part of the story, is that teenagers just don't do that. I mean, ours do,
Right.
but it's because they grew up in art gallery.
Right.
And that's the thing that amazes me about you, is you just inherently knew.
It was important to me.
You inherently know the truth, and for the most part, when there's a problem here, it lands on my lap, right? And so Jess and I run around like Batman and Robin, and I don't like when people look at us and think of us as Batman and Robin, but it's a little bit more like Batman and Alfred, where like I'll solve the problem and just she'll stitch me back together later on. And that's on the surface. Beyond the surface, at the very core, she's the smart one. She's made all the biggest discoveries. She knew that we were going to be a couple long before I did, and I'm inherently grateful. That's not the right word. I'm universally grateful to her and her subtle brilliance. And I see these bits of evidence every now and then. I took one of her sculptures off her desk when she wasn't looking the other day, and I was carrying it into my school, and it suddenly struck me she's always had this gift. She's the most intuitive beast. And we have a good balance because, well, first of all, she's way more likable than me. But we joke about how I'm the nice one, which nobody would ever believe. But also, like, I on the surface am the immediate problem observer.
Mhm.
And but she is the core just connection to the universe. She has a core intelligence that is at its base. And that's maybe more to do with the story I was telling, is that how does a teenager go and get $2,000 to buy a painting is pretty amazing.
See, that's probably why I never bought art as a teenager. Because I don't think I could afford, unless it, I could afford something that expensive. Kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like,
I
could
didn't.
never-
I was lucky enough that my mom put up the money and then I paid her back for it. So that was.
But I mean,
That's
I
very great.
bought art like going to comic conventions.
Totally,
books,
yeah.
Reading here, like
Yeah.
I bidded on stuff. Well,
That's
art.
that's the thing.
Absolutely.
Like Oliver too. Like Oliver would put sell a piece and then put his money back in the
Yeah.
auction too, right?
And
Like
Felix
and all
as well.
Felix too, yeah. So yeah, that's like it just matters like
Absolutely.
making
I
that
wish-
connection.
I
and,
wish I could
yeah.
buy it for you to color.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
love
that
it.
would yeah.
Is that what you'd buy it? Like if you had one chance in one piece in the world, is it a free? Yeah. How about everybody else here? What would you guys have if you could have
Well, I
one?
had a similar story when I was an undergraduate. When I was 18, my father said, "You guys need to be out of the house next week," and so my brother and I were trying to figure out what to, what do we need? A couch and dishes. But we went to an art auction and we bought a Jean Moreau print,
Yeah.
and then he died. Like not because we bought it, but about a month after we bought it, he died. And I still, it's one of the few things from that time in my life that I still
Yeah.
own.
That's
It's on my house. It's
incredible.
on my wall. I don't love it, but it's an
Love the
important
story
part of
of
my
it.
story.
The two
There's
least interesting
something
paintings.
important. Yeah.
The two least visually interesting paintings in our house are absolutely the Salvador Dali
Yeah.
and the George Braque painting we
But
have.
it's what they mean.
And we've got
It's like
paintings
that
by
connection
Yeah.
with
art history.
that a past and
Yeah.
the feeling of like I wanted to be someone that owns something like that.
And that was the gag, is tonight we were going to
Totally.
take the Salvador Dali into the auction and see what it goes for.
Without
Without-
starting bid,
Without
4,500.
We were going to call it, no, we were going to call it Sal D and start the bidding at $12 and see who bid on it.
Don't even joke.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, he was like, "Can we take it out of the frame?" I'm like, "That's where the authentication papers are. You can't just cut it out."
No, you're not wrong. There was an art show Richard Halliday had up at Stride when I was just out of art school, and I think I was just about to go buy my motorcycle, and he had some pieces up that were kind of maybe about twice as much as what I had in the bank. And for a split second, I wondered if I should buy one or if I'd regret it the rest of my life. And they're impossible to buy now. But the Richard Halliday paintings that I didn't buy are the ones that haunt me.
So these are by Santana. So this is opening 40, and this is it's also blacklight and mega glitter awesomeness.
Mega glitter awesomeness.
And this
I'm gonna buy it for you.
Oh,
I'm gonna bid $40.
$40 to Sonia. Going once,
Oh, if it's
going
something
twice,
that-
going
No,
3
no.
times.
Yay! No, that is a lovely thing.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, that is a lovely thing because it's
No,
it's
nothing.
it's
No,
really
no.
nice because that's a gift for Santana and a gift for you,
You'll
Christina,
find
right?
you'll find a
So Sonia,
special place.
that's a really nice
You're
thing.
welcome.
I love the mega glitter here.
I do too.
I don't think is a painter here.
She's not here tonight.
Oh,
She
okay.
has been here every night, but tonight she
She'll
is
be quite
not.
relieved that it's sold though,
Here-
'cause it's actually
yeah.
been kind of hitting the wall a few weeks in a row.
Yeah,
too,
and
so-
there's such great pieces. This is another one the same artist did. And then I'll show you. This is really cool. She did. The same artist did something.
Something.
Everything is shifted. If you, this is also by the same artist.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, wow. I never seen the movie, but I wanted to.
Oh, this is a good. This is a
It's
good
one of those
film.
things
Yeah.
I kinda just gotta
Would you like to take your piece with you, or would you like to put your piece back in? Oh no, sorry, I'm talking to Tiana. Would you like to put it back in next week? Next week, awesome. I'm sorry for attacking you
Can I
as you were
ask a
leaving.
question? What number are we tonight?
I love your piece. It is so beautiful.
What number are we tonight?
572.
Okay. Oh, that's good. I just showed the right one.
So what's the story behind this shirt?
So this one, this artist paints and sells pieces at the Comic-Con and at the different festivals. And so this one was one from one of those festivals. And this is like crazy blacklight too. This one
Is that the Iron Giant?
But yeah. Let's see.
There's so many layers to the Iron Giant.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa.
That's amazing.
That is so great. Oh my goodness.
That's gonna make a hit of
Is
parade.
it a jean jacket? Is it?
Yeah. So
Before he
jean,
was Bruce.
mock neck, nice zip up.
Wow.
It's a medium from
No, that was
H&M.
kind of like his first kind of group like role, if you think about it. I mean, like, character doesn't talk much.
It is so good. It's such a great film. It is so
I do not know the film.
okay. It is so. It's like
I know of it.
it is so important. Was it Ted Hughes wrote it for Sylvia Plath's children after she
Oh.
But then the movie, The Iron Giant,
yeah.
has so many layers as well. And the one that struck me the most was,
Committed
well, not the
suicide.
most, but
Yeah.
the
Committed,
producer had the same name as Pete Townsend. So it was like they're doing the credits, and on the credits it says Peter Townsend's the executive producer. And I'm like, that's weird. Don't you think if you're a movie producer and you had the same name as the guy from The Who, you'd come up with like Peter J. Townsend or something? Or like P. Townsend, just to change your name to Paul Townsend just to develop your own name. But guess what?
It's actually Pete Townsend.
Pete Townsend produced the film.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
He
fun.
was so moved by the book that he decided to turn it into a cartoon.
Her name is Alan Smithy. That'd be kind of
But
awesome.
also, like I could go on for an hour about this, and I probably will. See, have a great night. Is
Take care.
in the late '80s, there's a TV show called Steven Spielberg's Amazing Stories, and there was an episode that came on a night when I was really distraught, and it was an all-star cast of stars, Kevin Costner and a whole bunch of people that weren't stars yet, and they did a 1-hour TV episode about this guy that gets trapped in the belly gun of an airplane, and they have to crash land the airplane on him because the wheels have broken down. And I'm going to spoiler alert for you. At the end of the show, this one kid who's trapped in the belly gun wanted to work for Disney, and everybody on the plane considered them their lucky guy because he had such a positive attitude. And while they're crash landing the plane, he just manically started drawing these cartoon tires onto the airplane, and the airplane lands on these cartoon tires and doesn't crash until they get him out of the belly gun. And it was a really magical episode of TV that had a really sweet ending, all-star cast, just amazing production. And those 12 seconds of animation at the end of that show didn't just blow my mind, but completely changed my life, and maybe gave me an extra 30 years to live. Like I was just so saved by that moment of TV. And then 20 years later, when I was watching The Iron Giant, I also recognized that the chief animator of The Iron Giant, who also made like The Incredibles and some other really important stuff, was Brad Bird. And when I looked up his first movie credit was he worked on about 15 seconds of Amazing Stories in the early 80s. So the animator was the most important, second, Ralph Bakshi's most important animator, second most important animator in my life. The producer was the most important bass player in my life. The poet and the husband of the poet the poet that inspired the story was one of the most important poets in my life.
Yeah.
The husband of the poet wrote the story for the children of one of the most important poets in my life. I loved the cast. I especially loved talking about all these layers of being like replaced by machines. I really loved that they had been experimenting with 3D animation at the time. Because the early days, kind of around the same time as Toy Story, where making toys into 3D animation worked really well, but when they tried to put people in, it kind of sucked, right? Brad Bird had this insight to do a 2-dimensional story about this giant robot using 3D animation. So most of the film was 3D animated, but in the opposite of arrogance, they used the flatness of the 2D image. It looked like it was hand drawn like Snow White, but it was actually mostly 3D animated. And because they used that trick backwards, it created such a deep mystified. The motorcycle in that film has pistons that work at the right proportion and the right perspective.
Like you said, it was like, yeah, the
The
reverse
spokes on the
engineering.
motorcycle, the gears, everything in that movie was so brilliant.
Yeah.
And I think it's the most Is there anybody here that hasn't seen The Iron Giant?
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I want
I'll
to.
buy you a copy.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's essential watching, and on so many levels. Poetically, it starts out in the summer
It's so
and
good
it
for your
goes through
heart.
fall and it lands in the winter. Like the seasons change, though, like a
And the
Kurosawa film.
That's right.
I
Yeah.
must say it hasn't stood up to me the way it is, but now we're gonna go back and watch it.
Right? Isn't that so
I think it was
nice?
like my kids were watching it and I was cooking dinner or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
So I've shown it probably 300 times at school and to my
Nice.
kids and stuff, to the point where I got out of the habit of watching it. And Felix watched it when he was about 3, and it kind of scared him. And he's 11 now, so I hadn't watched it in about 7 years. And we put it on a few weeks ago, and it was the first time in 20 years that I sat down and watched every. But you don't blink, right? Because the animators are so funny and so clever. If you're watching to see where they switch from 2D to 3D, you can catch it with your eyes. It's that kind of trick of the eye. It's like, oh, it looks ever so slightly different. That was an actual 2D. When his hand's running around, it's 2D animation. The rest of the film, The Iron Giant, is rendered in 3D, but exported as 2D. So you have this just bizarre, conflicting, it's just magic.
Who did that?
This is by Raid, and I'm trying to get the color right on the screen because it's like very subtle and real. Oh, there. Oh, there. If I put my arm there. This is opening 50. This is oil on canvas. This is
The
by
mountain
Raid.
looks like a sleeping gorilla.
Oh, that's fun.
Looks so awesome. Looks really awesome.
Oh, there, the color. So opening is $50 for this one. It's oil on canvas. And this is by Steven.
Oh.
This is acrylic on canvas.
Oh, what's the opening bit?
This one did you say 40? Because we bought this one too, but this is from Steven. So should we say
$5.
That's a bid 20.
$20 is
20
fine.
is way better than 5.
Oh, that's really.
I love
that's really
Steven's
nice.
strings.
Yeah, I have
He's, like, so
one
awesome.
of his in oil. Wow, can I
Yeah.
see?
Yeah,
this?
of course you
Just,
can.
I was bragging to
Wow.
one of my friends.
Yeah, he would write an A on the back when it was acrylic because he usually would do it in oil.
I was bragging to one
That's
of my
so fun.
friends that Stephen painted your headdress
Yeah.
when you got married.
Yeah.
And she's like,
Yeah,
you know,
It's really
it was so,
lovely.
it's so unique and so beautiful.
It is really special. Yeah. This is one more. $5. Also, this is one more by Steven, another acrylic on canvas. He would do the surreal images very often of the images going in and out of
Did you
focus.
use those lines for at least $10?
I did. Okay.
That's really fun. Yeah.
That's for sure. I actually did that. So if I bet on it, I could. Okay. So I'll try the 5.
You'll bid 5 on this one?
Yeah.
Oh, fun. That is so nice.
If I get $10, that might help. Yeah. That
Yeah.
might, yeah.
Yeah, totally. That is so nice.
Mm-hmm.
That is wonderful. So here we go.
It's only $10, so it's not bad.
Did I win the bid for George's?
Yes.
flowers? Oh.
So let's
You just go home, you mount it on your wall and you enjoy it.
So here, Rich Tiru, should we wrap
do
it
we
up?
got?
Is there anything else you want to put in?
If anybody wants to bid
Oh,
anything,
Last one,
That's fine.
Donna did show this one, the Joyful Garden, opening $10, and this is a scratch board too, right?
Yeah.
Scratch board by Donna. So she has the $10 for this lovely scratch board,
where's your phone?
It's ready for framing.
and $10 opening bid for these 2 cards. What? Sorry. These are 2 cards that are scratch boards.
Let me take a photo, like just holding them for a second, please.
Those are fun.
Uh-huh.
It's like a scratcher.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
I love working with those.
yeah. I haven't really used that yet. Beautiful, thank you.
Yay! So $10 for the set of cards and $10 for this piece. All right. So, oh, that's nice.
Turn on the microphone. Just read over the first 2 lines so you can sort of think your way through them. And then you can talk out the first line. If that. It's right there.
Okay. So this is what when so
Anyone at home, if you need to bid on anything, please bid 436-297-424, and we'll just start wrapping it up. So when we were visiting Priscilla, she was like in and out, but the thing that brought her back was when Rich played the Beatles on his phone for her. I'm not gonna say the first words because I
Just
feel
talk it out.
awkward. I feel awkward.
Whisper it.
Rocky Raccoon
Nice.
checked into his room
Great song.
only to find Gideon's Bible. Rocky had come equipped with a gun to shoot off the legs of his rival. His rival, it seems, had broken his dreams by stealing the girl of his fancy. Her name was McGill, and she called herself Lil, but everyone knew her as Nancy. Now she and her man, who called himself Dan, we're in the next room at the hoedown. Rocky burst in and grinning a grin, said, Danny boy, this is a showdown. But Daniel was hot, he drew first and shot, and Rocky collapsed in the corner. Now the doctor came in, stinking of gin, and proceeded to lie on the table. He said, Rocky, Mitch, oh yeah, and Rocky said, Doc, it's just a scratch. I'll be better as soon as I'm able. Sorry, I'm crumbling. Now Rocky Raccoon fell back in his room, only to find Gideon's Bible. Gideon checked out, and he left a note down to help with Rocky's revival.